Dude, my stomach compared to yours, like I look like Snow White. It's just like whiter than snow.
But then I look like pregnant, like hello, food baby coming to you, December.
Not really pregnant, we're just fat. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited about today's video. I have a special guest here with me, hanging out with me in my bedroom today. Sorry, didn't mean to just touch her boobs. Okay. So I will let her introduce herself to all of you guys.
Hi, I'm Ariana. I have known Shaylee for quite a little bit. I actually was a fan, so I'm fangirling here that I didn't think that we would have this moment of collabing because I was somebody who was watching your videos before you even knew who I was. So I'm really excited to be here. I have my Instagram, which, you know, I'm sure will probably just be linked down below. I do have a YouTube channel myself. I have a vlog channel. We're just a military family. Doing travel vlogs and just day-to-day life.
Something that I feel like we have in common with our audiences is that we both talk about body positivity and we both talk about our weight openly and our struggles with our body. We're really just open books. Like, I don't know about you, but I feel like there's really nothing that I would not talk about. And especially after today's, we had a little photo shoot in our bras, and that was way out of my comfort zone. But I feel like it's kind of normal in a sense too, because I'm so used to now being able to like wear a bathing suit and feel confident and stuff like that. So I thought it would be really awesome to have her on my channel today. We could kind of talk about our struggles and talk about our journeys with you guys, because we know so many of you guys are watching. Maybe because you relate to this, maybe you just saw the thumbnail and you're like, I want to know what they're talking about. But we really want to speak a message of positivity with you guys today. I even asked you guys on Instagram if you had any questions, and we got a few rolling in as well there. So we'll move to those in a second. But I want to hear your story first. I want to hear about your relationship with your body from when you were young to now, kind of how that's evolved.
In a condensed version, I am probably your stereotypical fat girl. I have always been overweight my entire life, always struggled, always teased, always let it be an insecurity. And for me, it wasn't until I got into college, some bad relationships, and really discovered that, one, I was letting myself put myself down. Basically, when you allow people to treat you a certain way, it is because a lot of times yourself. It's not that some guy is just gonna come to you and just be like, oh, I'm just gonna treat you this way, even though you have all the confidence in the world. You can exude it as much as possible. I would pack on the makeup, thinking if I just made myself prettier in the face, which I constantly was told, you have such a pretty face, that would distract from how much I, to be quite frankly, hated my body. But it's something that goes deeper than just looking in a mirror and seeing what's wrong with your body. It really goes into the mental aspect. It goes into the forever battle of what is society telling me I need to look like? What is the new trend? What is my family telling me I need to look like? I always did activities and I was always told if you were just this size, you could be this much greater, which can really wear on you when you've had, I'm almost 30, so when you've had almost 30 years of basically society telling you one thing and you're trying to be on that journey to love yourself, it can be very difficult. And I have to say that it's very ever changing. It's taken me obviously almost 30 years, I feel like, to get to this point, but I'm still growing. It's still something that I don't think it's ever just going to end. I'm always going to have to take time to myself to really be like, you know, you need to love yourself and you need to put yourself first, and you need to not let all of the outside chatter affect how I am and how I am in my heart. And that's just something that has been a journey that I've shared with a lot of people for the last couple of years, but I think also it's important to show that it's not linear. It's a roller coaster. It's up and down.
Right. Yeah, I was actually just telling her when she got here that today was one of those days where we came up with this idea where we're gonna like do this photo shoot and things, and I woke up this morning and I was just like, I don't even want to look at myself in the mirror today. Like, I feel so self-conscious. And I told David, and he was like, this is not the day to feel that way. And I'm like, well, I can't really control what days I feel like that and what days I don't. But the thing that we can control is what we feed our minds after that. Because it's so easy to get stuck on that and caught on that and to just focus on that all day long and be like, I feel like crap. I look like crap. I hate my body. I hate myself, blah, blah, blah. Even if I don't believe it right now, I know who I am, and I know that I'm not defined by my body or my looks or my weight or any of that stuff. And so you just have to kind of like press forward. And that's always like one of the biggest questions I always get on my channel is like, how are you confident all the time? You're not.
Yeah.
You're not confident all the time. If you have your days where you don't feel confident, then you're human. There are so many of you out there that are struggling with this, and maybe you haven't shared it with anybody, or maybe it's just one of those demons that's followed you your whole life, kind of like what you were talking about. And I know for me, like my weight stems back from when I was young, like when I shouldn't even have been thinking about my weight. And it's because of the world that we grew up in. And I'm excited because our kids, they get to experience a new world.
Yeah.
Like they're in the forefront of something that's different. And I feel like this is like the first time maybe ever, maybe way back in the day, back when like curvy models were like ideal. Maybe it was different back then, but now I feel like our kids, they get to experience a world where they're not gonna feel shamed for their body. That's my hope and my goal.
I feel like the fact that a little girl can even just look at a magazine and see curves and see a roll is so profound compared to what we grew up with, which would just be the Victoria's Secret fashion show and thinking that it was just that body type and that was it.
Yeah.
So
even Target now has stretch marks on their campaigns.
Really?
On the girls' like butts and hips and stuff. And I'm just like, even just something as simple as stretch marks, there's so much shame behind that when you're growing up. And it's like stretch marks are the most normal thing ever. Yeah. Like every single person on earth has at least one small one, you know? And so just normalizing that I think is really good.
One thing that's really important about body positivity, and even for us talking and self-love, and we joke when we say two fat girls, is that body positivity, you don't have to also just be overweight. Everybody has an insecurity. I don't care who you are, no matter what size. And so I think that for us, we're talking for everybody. So
yeah, true. And I have seen in my comments as well, and this is something that I don't tolerate on my, actually it was on my Instagram page, somebody made a comment about skinny people and how they need to eat food or something. And I was like, okay, no. If we call ourselves body positive, that means that we are accepting all body types, not just curvy girls, not just skinny girls, not just morbidly obese girls. Like we are accepting all. And you may not agree with their lifestyle or their choices or how they got to the weight that they are or whatever, but if you're criticizing them, then you're not a part of the body positivity movement at all. You're still causing division. Shell's Glam Style says, how do I stop thinking that I need to lose weight in order to see me as beautiful?
I think that that's something that you literally will constantly work on. And I'm going to tell you, when I told you it's not linear, I am somebody who went through a big weight loss journey, actually. I did lose over 115 pounds, got pregnant. I've even had skin removal surgery, and I can tell you that you still battle to feel like, how do I need to lose weight? And what I have to tell myself is to stop, first off, and to think about, are you thinking you need to lose weight for the reasons of wanting an image in your head? Or is this about maybe just a goal? Is it a health thing? So I think that in order for you to say, do I need to stop losing weight in order to feel beautiful? I would say you need to start looking at yourself and looking at what you do love about yourself, because when you start canceling out all of the negatives that associate a number that nobody sees above your head, you just stop thinking that way. You stop thinking, let me lose weight because of, you know, this size or whatever, because there are people who can be 200 pounds in a size 12, 200 pounds in a size 16. So stop thinking of weight as something that people see on you. Only you see that. So you need to make sure that it's something that internally is for the right reasons. But if it's about just thinking you're beautiful, then you need to work on, first and foremost, working on actually looking at yourself and what makes you beautiful and what you accept about yourself.
We also had this discussion earlier about how you want to take care of yourself more when you have placed your mental state in a different place than the toxic diet culture that I like to call it, because it really is like the diet culture that we've grown up in and that is still rampant today is very toxic, because your weight is based off of like your worth. Like they are hand in hand. Being able to say, okay, I'm not this weight that I want to be, or, you know, maybe you still want to achieve that and you're still going for health or losing weight or whatever. If you're placing your worth in what you see on the scale and the size on your jeans, that's where the trouble is, and that's where you're never going to be able to break free from that. So speaking on that, the next question is from N. Calixtro. She says, Health-wise, what do you do to prevent a disease that relates to obesity?
Well, I think first off, something that just everybody needs to know is you can be skinny and unhealthy, you can be fat and unhealthy, you can be normal and unhealthy. Certain things are just gonna happen to you. There are preventative measures that we can all do, but I don't believe that necessarily just a size equals health.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's common sense.
Yeah.
I feel like you can't just look at a body and be like, they're gonna have diabetes. But that is always the number one argument people will have with me when I'm like confident in my skin and I'm sharing that with people. So I do appreciate this question because I get asked this all the time, and I'm sure you do as well. And it's like, what kind of example are you setting for your children when you're promoting your body to look this way? And once again, it goes back to what we were talking about before with body positivity. It's not saying that you have to like 100% love everything about yourself, but it's saying like, this is my body and I choose to love it and to be in a mental state where I realize like, this is the body I've been given. Just be thankful and grateful in that, I think is really important.
I can say I'm very health conscious, and it takes people a while to realize that sometimes. Like how Shaylee is saying, you know, you look at a person and you just think this is how they are, but when people get to know me, they really realize actually I'm very, very health conscious. I work out, I'm watching what I'm eating and different things like that. And I've myself do this because of the fact that I personally have, you know, family history of certain things that I know I'm more susceptible to, but it doesn't make it where, okay, if I'm all of a sudden a size 2, I'm just out of the blue gonna, you know, have a heart attack or whatever, or I'm gonna be fine. Like I literally am somebody who I have predisposition to, you know, cholesterol, to heart disease. And I can tell you that for me and my parents are both fit, slim people, and they have it. It's just hereditary. So I know that I don't wanna act like, you know, you can't take care of yourself or you should not take care of yourself and that, you know, just eat cheeseburgers or whatever all day, which everybody thinks that that's what everybody who's plus size does. But it doesn't mean also that if we're not small, that we're not taking care of ourselves. I hope that kind of answered that.
It totally did, yeah. Jay Lemons asks, how do you stop comparing yourself if you ever did? That's my biggest struggle. So I know for me, when I first started to just really realize my worth and my importance, and just kind of when everything clicked for me and I was like, I need to just start loving myself for who I am now. You know, I was going through like serious depression and I just felt completely worthless. And I knew that my narrative in my head about my body needed to change because it was just going nowhere. One of the things that I did is I had to unfollow people on Instagram that I would compare myself to on a daily basis. And a lot of them were what I considered the ideal body type for me in that season of my life. And I started following people that looked more like me and people that represented my size. And I felt like doing that made me realize there are a lot of people out there that I never knew existed before, and that there was like this separate community. And so I think being able to find the people that you can relate to is super important. Just don't even tempt yourself with comparing with people. You know, if you need to delete somebody on Instagram for your own mental health, do it.
I think that, you know, everybody has to remember that there are things that you can control and there are things that you can't control. Like you can't control the billboard that might be out there, you can't control what might be on the van or whatever, but you can control what you watch, you can control who you surround yourself with, you can control how she's saying, who you follow. So if it's something that isn't bringing you positivity or isn't uplifting you, then get rid of it, of whatever you can control. And I think that that's something to really remember. I think it's also, you know, human to say that we're always gonna kind of sort of compare ourselves, but I think that there's a fine line and there's a difference between when you let it start to really affect you, and how we say the biggest thing is your mental health, versus when you just like know you're kind of looking and you're just like, oh, you know, like I really like her hair, that's a color that I wish I could achieve, but like my hair just won't take that. That's different, you know, versus when you really completely shut down and let yourself just belittle yourself and get to nothing. That's when you know you've got an issue.
I have to say, the mind is a very powerful organ. Is this an organ? I don't even know.
I think so.
Your mind is very powerful. And the things that you were thinking about yourself all day, guess what? You're gonna believe those things.
Yeah.
So I always say, like, fake it till you make it, because that's kind of what I had to do.
Yeah.
I didn't really look at myself in the mirror and think, wow, I look really pretty. I just kind of had to speak it over myself, and I like forced myself to, and it was uncomfortable, and I hated it, and it was terrible because I was like, this is so weird.
Yeah.
The more of the things you think, the more of it becomes your reality, if that makes sense. And so you don't realize how powerful your mind really is until you start putting it at work. And it's the same with combating like the negative.
Yeah.
The negative things, the negative comments, the negative energy, whatever. Like, you have to get into that headspace where you realize, no, I'm not going to allow this to happen anymore. Like, this might have been my old ways of like letting myself talk to myself that way, but you have to combat it.
And it will change. That's completely, I feel like, too. That's how my Instagram actually was. Like, I feel like I had pictures and it was just like, she's so confident, and I was hating everything.
Yeah.
And then eventually just you post it more and more and more, and you start to just be like, I don't care and I'm me. And then you get to a place where you're like, huh,
Yeah.
this is paradise.
Right. It's so amazing being able to live your life.
Yeah.
Like, you can go to the beach and you can wear a bathing suit and hang out with your kids, and like, you give no craps. There's like nothing that replaces that.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, remember the days of just like going to the beach and like being covered up? Like,
Just
wearing like,
dreading
the
the
cover-ups.
season.
And like, you wouldn't even like wear shorts.
Yeah.
Just wear like, you wear like hot pants in the summertime, and it's just like, why am I torturing myself like this?
I would dread summer. I would literally hate it. I would just be like, oh God, shorts, tanks, like.
Right.
And now I'm like,
Going on.
bring it on.
So Cat Mother Pink Lover, that's a fun name, by the way. She asks, how do you deal with a constant double chin and you accept it, still thinking that you're beautiful? We're just laughing because it's like a part of life. Plus size, like, there's times when like I'll be posing for a picture or something, I look back on it later and I'm like, what the heck? Like, my head was just angled such a way that I was like, triple chin going on, you know what I mean? I think it's just, once again, this is just kind of like part of it.
You gotta embrace it. Because you know what? For some of us, I think it's just gonna be there. Because when I was even at my smallest, and I got to a point where scale-wise, you wouldn't think like, ooh, this was really small. But for me, it was really small, where people were like, you need to stop losing weight. And I still had the double chin. And I was like, what? But it's one of those that then I came to realize, you know what? You just gotta figure out the angles or whatever you like, and realize that it's just there, and it's there to stay. Just like, you know, a mole you might like, a pimple, you know, whatever, they're gonna be there, and you just have to just accept it and honestly embrace it. I think the biggest thing, and you probably can, anything with body confidence, self-love, anything that you're kind of almost downing yourself, if you kind of just take control and start to own it and just start to just be like, this is me, and almost like how people would say they would put up a barrier and joke about it, but it's true. When you start to just lessen it and joke about it and whatever, it just becomes less to you.
Exactly. It just becomes a thing where we can put in the thumbnail
Yeah.
that we're two fat girls, and it's like,
My belly.
we recognize that we may not be what society deems as what looks healthy or perfect or beautiful or whatever, but we recognize like this is who we are, and like we've learned to just embrace that. And that's what we want for you guys. That's honestly what we want. That's why I show up here like week after week doing these fashion videos and doing these videos, and you post on your Instagram account, and she's always showing her body in its raw form, and that's why we do it. It's because we want you guys to see we're living proof that you can love yourself even when you're imperfect. And we all are imperfect. We all have something about ourselves we don't like, and we all have something about our bodies that's, you know, not perfectly aligned, and that's beautiful. It's a great thing. So we hope that you guys enjoyed this video today. That's all that we got today as far as questions go, but if you guys have additional ones, leave them in the comments below. I think this might be a fun thing to like continue doing.
I really hope
maybe
so.
on like a monthly basis or something. I know you're about to move overseas.
We can still,
but we have our ways.
We
have our ways. So let us know if you did enjoy this video, and if you want to see more videos like this, be sure to let us know down below in the comments. And we really appreciate you guys watching. We hope that you gained something from this video, and we will see you guys in the next video. Bye!